someone asked the question in one of our groups whether there's a similarity between losing a loved one in death and losing someone in your relationship, right? And I pondered this question, I pondered the similarities, and I don't usually like to compare death with breaking up with someone, because obviously one is much more permanent. Then when I looked at the stages that you have to go through and the levels you've got to break up with someone in order to be fully healed from them, the process is actually very similar. You see, when we're with someone in our relationships, okay, we're not just with them physically, right? We have minds, we have hearts, we have emotions, and all that. We have literally 3 bodies, right? Our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and beyond. Now I'll go into that specifically if you'd like. But in general, when you're with someone for more than 5 years or maybe just several months, you're not only meshing your physical body, okay, you're intertwining thoughts all day long in the way that you communicate. Your emotions are intertwined, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in not such a good way, okay? And all these other levels of you are becoming one with that person. Not just when we sleep with them, right? Just by interacting them, sharing the same space. Now, if you look at the chakra bodies, some of you know what the chakra bodies are already, some more than others, right? But if you look at the chakra bodies, you'll realize that you've got layers along your chakra body. And so just by sitting next to someone, you can be pulling and connecting and picking up each other's energy, okay? Many energy healers talk about this all the time. And even if you're not consciously thinking about it, you can feel the vibes of a negative person the minute they walk into the room, as well as a positive person. And so if that can happen so quickly, imagine living with someone for years and years and years. And so when you break up with someone, physical breakup is very easy, right? You get up and you're gone. The mental and emotional takes a little time. And what I want to offer you is stop beating yourself up if you happen to have a passing thought about them, or you can't seem to stop thinking about something that happened between you, right? I hear that a lot on one of the forums. I can't get this out of my mind. Maybe it was an argument that keeps repeating in your mind. And I'm like, well, that's on the mental level. You have a mental connection. So yes, those things are going to come back and they're going to play over in your head. And you have to allow them to. You don't wallow in it, but don't fight it either, because the best way to purge is to accept what's there and then deal with it fully, resolve it how you need to, which we're going to go into in detail in one of our modules, and then let it go. A lot of people think that blocking is the same as letting something go. And what I notice that a lot of people do is they block instead of letting go, right? Or F that nigga, or whatever else we spew out about our ex, or we jump into the next thing like the next day and we feel like that's getting over, that's letting go. No, you're just blocking. You're blocking the emotions you're feeling so that you don't have to feel it by distracting yourself with another person, right? Or just slandering them outright. That's blocking. There's a big difference between that and letting someone go. That being said, you've got to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, good or bad, right? Don't fight it. You don't have to block it. Allow it to surface, then deal with it and let it go. Now, there's a process to this. You do have to know what you're doing. And generally, you don't want to be all alone in doing this. This is why we exist. This is why our course exists. We go through the stages of a breakup, right? One level at a time. I need to also offer you to be very patient with yourself and stop thinking there's one cookie cutter time frame that it takes to get over someone, right? Everyone is different. Everyone's relationship is different. Okay, 2 people that were together for a year are very different than 2 people that were together 5 years, 15 years and beyond. And so no one can really tell you when you should be over it. Just be on your way and make sure that's your intention and your goal every day, to be happier with or without them. Now, this doesn't mean we're couples bashing or we're, single ladies promoting. No, but you got to learn to be happy with or without somebody first. And this is the area that I really like to focus on, because a lot of people feel like when you talk about being happy as a single person, you're somehow anti-relationships. Shouldn't you be happy first as a person before you can get into a relationship for someone to make you happy, right? Wouldn't you want to attract the same type of person? And so just by us saying that, we indicate we're kind of walking into this whole love game kind of backwards, right? Feeling like it's always rushing towards a destination of another person so that we can get happy or be happy, when no, you want to focus on how do I be happy first, or a little more happy with or without another person, and then we can meet another person. And therapists have been revealing this for the last 3 years, well, maybe more than that, but what I've noticed, it's sort of a new reveal that it's really about that inside game that happens before you run into your soulmate or your twin flame. But that all being said, how does this connect with death? How does this connect with losing a loved one in death? Well, when you think about it, let's say you're talking about a parent that you might have lost. I experienced that as well. You have to go through the same exact stage. First of all, you're in total shock. Even though you might have known they were sick and you knew that eventually they were going to get older and they were going to die, you never really are fully prepared for someone's passing if they were a loved one. You never really can fully prepare for that. And so you go through stages of shock, then acceptance that this is over. This person is not going to walk through the door, right, and yell at you to, like, I don't know, turn the lights off or something, right, or pick up your shoes or something, or whatever they used to say. Then it's never going to happen again. You're not going to see them anymore. You can't talk to them, right? Even if it's just bantering or like fussing over something. See, when we miss and we think about our ex, we're not always thinking about the good stuff. We're thinking about everything and we miss all of it. And so that separation has to happen on the same 3 levels when you lose a loved one. It has to happen, well, it's already happened physically. Then it has to happen by clearing your thoughts, acknowledging them, but clearing your thoughts out, and then dealing with all those unfinished emotions you had with that person. Now it's a little harder with death because you can't call them, you can't ask that one last question. So all of it is really DIY. You have to do it yourself. DYS, do it yourself, when you're dealing with losing a loved one through death, or of course with a professional. Now, I say this to say this: I don't normally like comparing breakups with death, but the stages of separation and the 3 doorways that we must close when we lose a loved one are the same. Okay, you must close the doorway on the physical, the mental, and the emotional. I'm going to go that in detail in the module that deals with the 3 doorways of loss. Okay, 3 doorways of loss. You want to go live tonight, let me know. Thanks for watching. If any of this makes sense or doesn't, let it be known in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.